Recording. Huawei, yes. Oh, Warren, don't do that.
Oh, you want to hear that?
Give me one of those gummies. I need it to be less sad.
No, we need a bit of an intro. Who's going to sing for us?
I'm not singing.
Sing us a song, Roarke. There's only one intro that to get this
I had
podcast started.
a brief.
Ah, a three-way, yeah.
Red Bull. Oh,
Oh,
that was
yeah?
a goodie.
No Red Bulls yet.
All I'm saying is that the crack of the can was nowhere near as good as the Monster crack.
Yeah,
It doesn't even sound the same.
Oh, it doesn't taste as good either.
I'm afraid
I told
it
you
doesn't.
not to get that.
Well, here's a real intro. I'm Alistair Bishop, and this is Warren King, back from California. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Couple of housekeeping notes. Please make sure you hit subscribe on the bottom. Thank you.
Nice.
I want to do some voiceovers. Welcome back, homie.
Thanks, China.
Jesus. You were gone a minute, eh?
I felt like I was gone for a very long time.
Yo.
I'll be honest, I didn't want to get back on that plane. I was like, just fly my family back over there. Illegally live there. No, I would never do that. But
Well, bro, you can go from Guatemala and live in America, no problem, bro. Why can't we just go from here?
I know. Makes sense, right?
We are kind of...
It's like we're like a global society now. Like, what's this like borders thing?
I suppose we could say refugees. I'm like, have you seen where we live, bro? Like, let us in, please, though. Please.
I think the Mexicans actually have it the worst. You know, Mexico used to like own California. It used to be part of Mexico, right? But now it's like one of the biggest economies in the world. Look, I mean, the Americans made it one of the biggest economies. But I mean, like, Mexico would be like, come, like, royalties, please.
Pay us royalties for your success.
Yeah.
Roarke, what are you up
What were
to?
you guys up to while I was gone?
Hey, we had a stacked little gig
I know,
here.
I saw Mr. Superman was on here.
Yeah, Chad Honeycomb, Simon
That looks a
Stevens,
beast, bro.
Ryan Murgatroyd.
Ryan Murgatroyd with his
Yeah.
anaconda pipe. That
Did
was
you guys
pretty-
smoke on the...
Bro, we didn't need to. this was just kind of like a cloud.
Hotbox.
Yeah. You just have to just like lean up a little for a breath.
Oh,
and
man.
you were sorted. Old Murgatroyd.
That's awesome, bro.
What a gas. That dude smoked a lot of pipe.
I made my jiu-jitsu return and then also my jiu-jitsu exit while you're away.
I saw that.
Awesome. So, dude.
I brought us a little prezi for the...
Ooh, I want to see these El Camino cannabis-infused gummies.
No, I don't think they are. I think they're just normal gummies.
I definitely didn't bring this from
Oh,
America.
these are only 5 milligrams.
I know, I definitely didn't bring them from America, though.
Oh, so cool that they sell these at Joburg International Airport now.
Yeah. 100%.
Okay,
Yeah,
nice.
let's all have a little baby.
So it comes back from California with peer pressure and drugs.
They taste a little bit. I didn't bring this from California. What are you talking
I mean,
about?
from Otumba.
What are you talking about? I didn't bring this from California.
And Warren proudly sponsored. Well, if anyone looked, please don't look.
I can't wait for this to
Imagine
be a
that
thing.
fell on like cat hair or something. That would be so gross.
Imagine it fell straight on my cat. Jesus, bro. Sure, it's 5 milligrams. Why does it taste like that?
I won't lie, it tasted different on Saturday after some GNTs there.
They're like this thing, like weed taste.
But they don't have any weed in them.
No, yeah, it's legal in South Africa.
Oh,
Gummy bears.
It's just illegal to
fine.
bring it over the border.
but you didn't do that. so
I didn't
if
do
we-
that. I definitely didn't do that.
Wow. I'm panicking right now.
When I was in California, before I got on the plane, I took a 15 milligram one.
Yeah.
Best 16-hour flight I've ever had in my life. I slept for 11 of the 16 hours. I was just so grateful that there was 3 open chairs in a row. I was like, oh, this is the best ever.
Yeah, that's
That's a win, bro.
That's a big win. There's nothing better than getting on the plane and you're like,
Yeah.
space.
Dude, have you ever done one of those long flights and you haven't been able to sleep?
Dude,
Oh.
I'll do one even better for you. When I flew to Abu Dhabi, I had like, in my head, the sickest plane. 8-hour flight. So it was early morning check-ins, which would start at like, I think 9. I was landing at 6. And then I had to get to the airport, media check-in. And I had to be at the official weigh-ins. So I was like, cool. 8-hour flight. I'm going to leave here, whatever the time. Get there 6 in the morning. Take a sleeping tablet. Sleep for 6 hours on the plane. Be ready to rock and roll the whole day.
No, I can deal with this
Get on
man.
the plane. Like, I'm like waiting. Then I'm like, okay, let me take an hour. Then they bring dinner. I'm like, okay, fuck. Well, let me just eat quickly. Then I'm like, cool. Take a sleeping tablet, put a movie on. And then somehow, for some reason, the dude next door starts talking to me, like sitting next to me. He's like, what's going on? So I start talking to this dude who happened to be coming back from South Africa, going to the UK. He was working on like an anti-rhino poaching technology, like a decibel-based GPS. So if they heard like a gunshot, they could triangle it. And this dude this whole story was so fucking nuts. And I'm like listening to this dude, and the next thing I look, and I'm like, look at that, 2:30 a.m.
Oh,
Fantastic. No. And then I like pass out like doors for a little bit, and then they start coming to bring breakfast, and I'm like, what have you done? And then I've taken a sleeping tablet as well, so I'm like, fucking zombie like.
Bro, when you need sleep and you can't have sleep, that is like the worst feeling in the world,
dude. But you know how it is,
you're
you,
like
you hit the ground with a bit of adrenaline, and you just like, fuck it, let's go for it.
Yeah. How good is the airline food these days?
Pretty badass.
Like, you don't want to miss it, bro.
Yeah, no.
Like, I can understand
They're
why
like
you...
breakfast. Fuck, sweet.
Did you have you flew?
I'm waking up, bro.
You flew Emirates, right?
Yeah.
How good are those Malva pudding things they bring you?
Oh, they changed it. I had...
I'm pretty sure they
So
don't
I
serve
got-
the same
I got-
thing every time, boy.
I got that powerful business class upgrade on the way to Dubai. So I had lobster for lunch. Which
As
was
one does.
phenomenal. And
Business
then they
class.
brought me a trio of desserts. So you don't have to choose in business class. They bring you all three of the ones that you want. So that was amazing. And the food all around was good. I used to hate airplane food. Food was fantastic in Emirates.
Yeah, Emirates is the business. But all of those like UAE-based airlines are the shit.
Yeah,
dude.
like even I've
so
flown
good.
Qatar. That was good.
Yeah, Qatar's
And
good.
Etihad.
Yeah. So, what was California like, dude? You
Bro,
guys
so
did a-
epic, so
you
epic.
guys- you guys did a lot of shit.
If I could move there tomorrow, I would. But obviously, that's not that easy. But yeah, we did. We did all. It was epic. You know, these trips can either be super epic or super shit. You
Yeah.
know, like it all depends on who you go with. But I went with like 4 other like epic dudes, and we all were there. We were all there for the same reason, and you know, like we just had fun. Trained ourselves broken, yeah, and we just experienced Californian life. Trained wherever we could. We went to Training Lab, Cobrinha, 10th Planet HQ, 10th Planet Costa Mesa, Roarke Gym, wherever we could train, we trained. Like,
So I suppose the first general reaction was, what did you find in terms of jiu-jitsu training facilities?
well, I think a lot of the time we put these international training facilities on this pedestal, and we're like, wow, we wish we could aspire to that. But you go to like Cobrinha's gym, and it's not much bigger than our gym, like one that Roarke and myself own. It's maybe like 150 squares of mat. It's got a nice little reception area, and that's about it. And showers, like really standard showers. 10th Planet HQ was probably the same size or smaller than our gym, which is crazy because
Yeah.
it's the headquarters of
Yeah.
10th Planet. With the siffest showers I've ever been to in my entire life. Like, it was like prison style showers. Like, no curtains, 3 showers in a row, naked dudes. You line up
Hostile,
naked, jump in. I was like, Don and myself were like, this is enough. We out of here. It was literally like middle of winter. Don like bounced out of there in like compression shorts and a t-shirt. Bro, I was like, oh my goodness. Yeah, obviously the Roarke facility is crazy. They're throwing a lot of money at that. But yeah, you know, you walk into like a facility like FFM. There's a couple of other facilities around the country, and they definitely match up with those facilities. But FFM was better than all the facilities we went to. You know, I mean, I'm just referencing that because that's where we are every day.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think a lot of the time we think that everything's greener on the other side of the border, but it's not actually. Even like the training itself, like the level of training we're receiving locally, and obviously this doesn't apply to every gym locally.
Yeah.
But like you look at like Rich's systems and that, you can see why the international fighters are coming over to South Africa now. You know, we train hard. it's systems based approach. Everything's done with knowledge back behind it. Over there, like there were guys like searching for training partners, searching for rounds. Like I mean, I won't mention names, but like highly successful UFC fighters were coming around begging our guys to spar and do some drills with them, and they were hitting the bag for a round, and then they were like searching for a wrestling partner for a round, and then they were just fucking doing their own thing, you know. Like then when Rich got there, and there was all the structure, and like there was drills and technical sparring, and like those oaks were like, oh, I want to get a piece of that, and yeah.
Was that person, does it rhyme with Ralphitos Nachos?
no. That oak's a puss, right?
Ooh.
But yeah,
we're not. He's not talking about Rafael dos Anjos.
You see that oak? You know, like everyone, like most people in California.
Before you continue, full disclosure, never been a fan of the guy. I don't know what it is, but just looks like one of those dudes.
Bro, I used to love that guy, especially when he fought George Soteropoulos. Do you remember that fight?
No.
Like that was like way back when, and he still tried that rolling knee bar from half guard, and he like put a beating on George Soteropoulos, and George was like on the rise because he was a black belt in jiu-jitsu.
Pre-USADA.
Yeah, pre-USADA. And then like he was there training, and like most of the guys are super like chill, like, hey, how you doing? Where you from? He like wouldn't even look at it. I did hear stories that Don fucking dolloped that oak as well, so I'm not I'm not like super surprised.
Rumor has it.
So I'm not like super surprised, but yeah. Besides him and like one or two other guys, everyone was super cool. Like there's a couple of egos, but not like big egos, you know. Like everyone super welcoming. It was awesome, bro. Everyone seems pretty happy in California.
So do you reckon we're gonna see maybe one or two guys start filtering, coming to see what Rich is all about full time?
Definitely. I think a lot of people's eyes are open. You know, like there's a lot of stuff in the pipeline where Rich's name will get further out there. I think stuff that local guys will be super surprised at. But yeah, I think we'll see them coming over more, maybe Rich going over more. I don't know what the situation is, but yeah, there's going to be. Rich is definitely a force to be reckoned with on the international scene now, and I think everyone's noticing it now, especially with like there was a lot of media surrounding him and his what's wrong?
Nothing.
Choking on the gummy.
Joking on the gummy.
Slowly, boy. Yeah, just sink into your chair a little bit.
Wait, did you upgrade my chair? I just realized that now.
Boy, how high are you? Because it was upgraded last week already, dog.
Oh. Didn't even notice, bro.
Sitting like this is the most comfy chair I've ever sat in my whole life.
Please don't lean all the way back and it snaps and then you fall down
I
to your imminent death.
The stuff in this studio isn't well made.
What are you talking about? I assembled it with my own hands. Fucking be careful, mate.
I was a master craftsman. What are you on about, bro?
Yeah.
Do you think people here just don't realize?
I'll whittle this table with just...
Yeah, dude, I whipped this thing up in fucking 5.5 minutes, mate. Electric screwdriver. Check out this thing, Bruce. It's a bit wobbly.
Didn't the bookshelf fall on Simon Stevens last week?
No, he hit the shelf and the guys fell from the top.
Yeah,
but I would not touch that shelf with a feather because it will fall off.
That's his fault. That's definitely his fault.
Bro, just pass me those things. I want to understand why they taste like that because, you know, I'm starting to
I can't believe they sell those in
here.
4 ways. It's crazy.
I like this, eh? Yeah, it's pretty cool, eh?
Bro, it's
pineapple habanero. That's probably why it tasted like that.
So,
listen, hang on.
Obviously, like we always talk about like the legalization of anything, and it brings industry, like it forms a new industry. So what's happened is obviously it taxes heavily in America.
Oh, Tambo.
Yeah, in Tambo. These types of products in America, they tax them heavily. But then obviously they create an industry. So like high-end shopping, you can go like a main road in California or wherever it's legal, and they got like Apple Store style stores. You can buy whatever you want, all the paraphernalia, all the different strains of weed, all the different like edibles, all the like, and it's just super chilled there, bro. It's like, and I think unfortunately South Africa is moving in that direction, but countries that aren't moving in that direction it's mind blowing.
I have one question for you.
Yeah.
So in this iStore type shop that you mentioned, you walked in there was a wide variety of things going down. You went
Can you just pause quickly? Can you bring things up on the screen?
Yeah, you can, as long as it's. We keep getting flagged for copyright, so we just got to
No,
be
no.
careful.
So this
So
is
just go to air parrot there, boy.
Give me a sec. I need to just have something. I want
double
something up on the screen when we.
no. If it's bad, it disapproves. Then.
So
I'm joking. Okay.
wide variety. Just double click air parrot there. Wide variety of things to choose from. Am I right?
Yeah. So
No. What I want to ask you is, how did you come to the conclusion that pineapple habanero was the flavor to go?
no. So the reason this was chosen, Rich actually.
Throwing him under the bus here now.
Rich actually decided on this type of one when we were there, not
it's
the one
not
that we
clear.
got over here that I
Close
bought
it and open again.
that I
Sorry,
bought
yeah.
in South Africa. Basically, it was sativa. It was like an uplifting, pick me up. Doesn't make you tired type of thing. And we had bought other ones previous to that. So I'll tell you the story of
Give it a chance.
why we landed up with this one based on what we had done previously. we went to this spot that Ray suggested to us, and like sounded like a cool place. Went there, walk in there, no signage. It's like, okay, cool. Eventually, like it looks like apartment blocks. Eventually, knock on a door, walk in. It seems like the right place. There's like a little reception area. You have to hand in all your bags, hoodies, whatever. And there's a guy with a gun on the other side of the thing. I was like, this seems super
Jesus.
sketchy. Then you walk through another like door, and it's like this. It's almost like if you had to go to like game shop, you know, like if you're gonna go buy got all these glass cabinets and you can choose. So everyone was, you know, like interested in buying certain things, and I decided I'll buy the edibles. So I bought gummies, 15 milligram gummies, and I bought white chocolate covered Oreos, 25 milligrams.
Ooh,
Right.
Oreos.
But like 5 milligrams doesn't sound a lot, but it's also like the percentage of the THC as
And
well.
you also
know?
have to bear in mind that some dude with a mustache and long hair and
Well, this is
slip-slops is sitting stirring, and he's like, well, I think it's 5
well, this
milligrams.
is super like regulated, but those white chocolate covered Oreos definitely weren't super regulated, right? So like, the next day we trained hard. For whatever reason, I didn't have time to like eat in the morning.
Yeah.
So we did like almost 2 training sessions and I was still on an empty stomach. So I broke my fast with a gummy, the 15 milligram gummy, right?
A lot of good decisions being made out there in California.
Then I followed the 15 milligram gummy up with this delicious white chocolate covered 25 milligram Oreo,
Good Lord, Warren.
and followed that up with smoking a joint, right? And then ate. Okay.
And then ate everything inside.
And then it was like a Saturday night or a Sunday. I think it was a Saturday night or a Friday night. We decided we're going to Newport and we're going out on the town for the night. Dude, I didn't even get to Newport. I was like almost legless, bro. I was like, I could barely hold my head up. I remember everything, but I was completely useless as a person. And I thought all the people that we were with were thinking this oak's useless, you know, like we're dragging this oak along. Little did I know that all the other people that had done this, right, were in the same situation that I was in, right? It was just like a group of people that were all like completely out of it. But yeah, needless to say, we never did that again. And we went for the more uplifting, mellow 5 milligram.
I like that, hey? Tropical and tangy heat, effect uplifting.
Yeah, 100%.
Thanks, Camino, for looking after us. Yeah, dude, I can't wait for this to start coming through in South Africa properly.
Oh,
I
yeah,
think
I'm going to
it's-
smash it, bro.
Not even that, I just, lots more taxes for the ANC to deal with, keep them busy. Keep them out of trouble a little bit. And we get to have cool things like this. Dude, I don't know why that's not working.
That's okay.
I wanted to show you, like, there's a shop called MedMen, which is like the
pull
Apple
it up
store.
anyway, we can have a look. What's it?
MedMen.
MedMen. People can
Roarke?
check it out. Roarke anytime.
MedMen.
Anytime, dog.
It's like 2 separate words, but I hear you.
MedMen Cannabis Dispensary.
Salted. One word.
No, it's literally 2 words.
On this URL, it's one word.
On the Google search, it would be 2 words.
Are you 21 years and older?
Damn it.
Why,
Why did you do that, bro?
why are you such a retard?
Damn.
You know, Google is not gonna recognize that.
Do you reckon they will remember me?
100%.
Ah, you see, Roarke must be 20.
Why did you do that? You
What
chop.
a fucking chop.
Oh man.
Cool, I guess
clear
we'll-
his browsing history quickly.
I guess we'll. Jeez, don't look at the browsing history, bro. The show's taking a dark turn, eh? Ooh. Ooh.
Clear it, just clear it.
So
Just
Yeah, just do what you need to do.
last 7 days, yeah, that's fine. Not re-enter that website.
How was Bellator, dude? So I don't know if people realized what was going on, but you were sitting cage side Bellator.
Yeah, it was epic, yeah.
Ah,
So, I definitely need to be more prepared next time.
optional, boy.
Yeah, no thanks. I definitely need to be more prepared next time. Obviously, like, once I was there, so, for anyone that doesn't know, like, we didn't get credentialed to start with.
Yeah.
So, we didn't really prepare for it. And then however, we did get credentialed. And then it was like a rush to try and prepare for it. And, like, all the stuff we needed kind of arrived after the media days. And then when I got to the arena, I didn't realize that it's like the UFC where there's a backstage section and the cage side section.
Yeah.
And that all the interviewing and all like the media stuff happens during the fights.
Yeah.
So like you have to be two guys. You can't.
That's what I was saying, but
you
like
can't
people
be
don't-
one guy
People
there.
don't realize, like, if we travel to an international event, one person at a time, it's like the UFC laughed at me. That I think I'd done on my Fitbit on the night like 27,000 steps. I'd covered like almost, I think, 19 kilometers over 500 meters.
Yeah.
Going backstage and then like picking your fights. Be like, okay, look, I have to watch the co-main and main event.
Yeah.
So whatever is happening after that, fuck, it is what it is. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So during the prelims, I would like watch a prelim, then go back, and then watch the next fight, and then go back. So I'd like skip a fight kind of thing, you know, which isn't ideal. And then, but what I also came to realize from a South African perspective is, you know, like backstage interviews in the media scrum for Zhang Weili doesn't really translate to us. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
But having a chat with Dan Hardy about Don Match, that translated. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, you have to kind of figure those things out. But dude, people don't realize, like, MMA Junkie and these guys with the bigger backings are 4 people working a single show.
That's what I was gonna say. Is like MMA Junkie had like 2 or 3 guys cage side.
Yeah.
And then they had what's the big guy's name from MMA Junkie?
John Morgan.
Yeah, they had John Morgan backstage.
Yeah.
Doing all the media
he's-
stuff,
he's
interviews,
often
whatever.
backstage, yeah.
And then likewise with ESPN, all those guys, you know. And
ESPN, bro, have like 6 people working that event from like a PR and media perspective.
yeah, bro, it's crazy. It's so at the beginning of the night when I arrived there, so like I watched Aaron Pico's fight.
Yeah.
Then I tried to go to his interview, but then
Yeah,
while
yeah.
his interview was happening, I was missing the next fight.
Yeah,
and what they had
yeah.
done is they had tripled up on the 3 main guys on the prelim. So like I couldn't really like manage it. So
Yeah,
eventually
it's
I was just
chaos,
like,
dude. It's fucking
eventually I was just
chaos.
like, I'm gonna sit cage side, and then just try to like take in the moment, you know. Like, but next time, hopefully we get to do like maybe a European
Yeah.
Bellator, like and a European UFC, and then we'll be way more prepared. We have to go together. Like it's not.
Fuck, dude.
It doesn't work like one person. Like also there were so many people you want. Like I missed fights, just trying to like navigate
around,
through
yeah.
the event, that without even like doing interviews and stuff. So
Fuck, talking about that Bellator Europe, did you see James Gallagher is out of his
Yeah.
fight with Carl Eleanor?
that's so
Fuck,
bleak,
dude.
bro. That card actually is
Yeah, it's
falling apart
crumbling,
at a quick
Pete
rate.
Queeley's out.
Yeah. So there's no more SPG presence on the Dublin card, right?
France Mlambo still in there.
Okay.
I don't know who else. Yeah, boo. Poor Carl.
Yeah, it's
I mean,
bleak,
it's
bro.
cock. You get injured.
So is he
happens.
off the card now?
They've taken him right off the card.
Oh,
So
my goodness.
it looks like they've both said, like, say in the contract, they're going to do it for a later date. Obviously, the thing with Bellator is like they're Bellator Europe, so they kind of try and keep them there. I don't know when the next European show is, though. You know what I mean?
But
Because I know
is
there's
it
going
no
to
one
be
that
one in
can-
Newcastle towards the end of the year.
is
I
there no
think-
one that can step up on 3 weeks' notice?
I think it's I think they're either going to get someone else for Cal, or they're going to move this fight to the next event, because there's too much invested in you already. You know what I mean? To
But
try
I
and
mean,
let it fall
I
apart.
mean, if you take Cull off, then you have to go find a completely new main event.
So they've moved the ladies fight up to the main event.
Who's the ladies
I
fight?
can't remember. Dude,
Yeah,
but
Liam
it's-
McCourt versus
Yeah.
Judith Ruiz.
yeah,
But I mean, let's be honest. That's
yeah, Liam McCourt from SPG,
that's not a. Yeah, but she's not even part of the main SPG team.
Charlestown. Yeah, so that's
Um,
Owen Roddy's gym. Yeah, dude, I don't know. It's just a fucking weird situation.
But I mean, like that. I mean, no disrespect to those ladies, but that's nowhere near as big a fight as
Yeah.
Gallagher versus Eleanor.
Yeah, dude, I don't know.
Like,
It's fucking hard.
I love Cal, but even like
Yeah.
Cal versus someone is nowhere near as big as Cal versus
yeah. No,
Gallagher.
for sure. James Gallagher brings the heat,
Yeah. So I mean, yeah,
dude.
bro.
And like the crazy thing is there. So you've got in that weight class now. You've got Nathan Grayson, who's still amongst there. France Mlambo, James Gallagher, Carl Eleanor. Now Sergio Pettis is in there. You know what I mean? So it's
Oh, you mean that in that division?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
So you know, like the stakes are high now because
Yes,
now you between
Sergio
Carl and
Pettis
James.
got a powerful knockout.
Yeah, dude. Between
the other
between
weekend.
Gallagher and Eleanor getting a win, you know, you might maybe getting close to that payday with Sergio Pettis. There's a few other names in there. I suppose you'd have to go through first, but
Did you watch the
Definitely
Pettis
getting there.
fight?
yeah, crazy, eh?
Did you watch the Pico
Just
fight?
shows levels. I watched. So I went and watched, or like the highlight clips on YouTube that they posted.
Yeah.
It's like most of the fight. Yeah, dude, that was savage, bro.
Bro, he throws like a feint teep or like he was throwing most of his kicks like through the middle and then turning on them, right? So he threw like a feint, like what looked like a teep, but it could have also been like a regular kick.
Yeah,
And then he like pulled his leg back and then threw a lead hook, but like landed mid
yeah, like on
forearm.
his forearm. Yeah. I saw that.
Slept that oak right there, bro. Dead. I was like, wow, that oak's got some mental power. The nice thing about Pico is that this fight he showed a much more well-rounded game.
He's also had
He
a
was
change
using
of
a-
camp though. He's at Jackson.
Yeah,
Jackson
yeah.
Wink now.
And then he does a little bit of training at the training lab as well.
Okay.
And he showed his wrestling off a little bit this time. It was really good.
Bro, there was Sergio Pettis. Yeah, keep going.
Raymond Daniels,
Dude, this Raymond Daniels this looks a savage, dude.
bro. Look, I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. It was a crazy mismatch.
Yeah,
it was like
fair
a
enough.
crazy. So this dude and his wife were training the one night that Don and
Well, bro,
myself.
Raymond Daniels is 2-1, so he's not. You know, this dude was 9-6.
Yeah, but
Jason
Raymond
King.
Daniels also one of the greatest kickboxers.
Fair enough.
So this Jason King and his wife is fought in the previous fight. Go one more across Roarke?
Oh yeah, there.
Emily King. They were training. They're from Oven St. Peru's camp.
Yeah.
So it was them and Oven St. Peru and all of them were training, and then Don and myself were training with one of Don's management team guys, Tim. And I saw the Jason King train. I was like, looked a bit iffish. And then only the next day that I realized he's fighting Raymond Daniels. And I was like, oh my goodness, this oak's gonna die, right? Like anyone who knows Raymond Daniels knows that oak's about to die. And it was evident from the start of the fight that oak was in deep water, like instantly. Like even I thought his wife wasn't. I thought his wife was also going to catch a beating, but she won her fight and she did pretty well. But I was like, bro, like that oak would struggle in the UFC, and he was fighting Raymond Daniels, bro. I was like, I don't know about that. But yeah, Raymond Daniels is awesome. Hey,
Curtis Melinda, bro. I can't believe that looks actually already done with the UFC. I thought he was going to be pretty good.
bro, that Moses Murrieta, we did some training with him at the Roarke headquarters. One of the coolest oaks you'll ever meet, bro. That oak's got like, I mean, there's some highlights from Moses when he won the number one contender spot in LFA. That oak's got some crazy power, bro. But Curtis Melinda, like, I mean, he went into that fight like he'd hardly ever lost in his career, and then was coming out of the UFC, and it was like Moses was on like a 2-fight losing streak.
How crazy was that fight? Sorry, that
AJ Agazarm one. Yeah, that's hectic, bro.
was crazy. Yeah.
He fought Chris Pratt's chummy, Adel Altamimi.
Altamimi.
Have you ever heard this guy's story?
No.
You know, he was like an Afghan war prisoner
Jesus.
for like a couple of years. And then he got into MMA afterwards. And he actually, Chris Pratt was in his corner, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I saw him there in the pictures, but he might have been. There we go. Yeah, he's in his corner. What a gangster.
He was there. Chris Pratt was there on the night. I mean, obviously Bellator loved the fact that Chris Pratt's there.
Yeah, yeah.
But he's got like a hectic story, bro. Like I'm led to correction of like the finer details of it, but it was like something hectic like that, bro.
Hectic. Nice, man.
Hostage survivor wins at.
Fucking hell. Chris Pratt's friend and Al Qaeda hostage survivor Del Atamimi wins MMA
Hey?
debut.
Hey,
Jesus.
how intense is that, bro?
He looks just like Daniel Cormier.
What a dick.
Unfortunately, he lost that fight. Like,
Yes, but fuck, it was a good show.
yeah,
though.
it was a good show. Problem is with AJ, like on the ground, you're gonna struggle, bro. Like, you can't be a grappler and then want to try and beat.
So he made his pro debut at Bellator.
I don't know. I don't think so, bro. He's got like quite a big record. I think he's like 9-7 or something like that. Just check what his record is.
Shout
bro.
out to Bellator, bro.
But an Al Qaeda hostage survivor. I mean, how mental is that?
Yeah, he might be 8-7, but he won the fight of life.
Yeah, geez, like it. He's all round champ, bro.
The fight of
But there was that card was actually great.
Yeah.
You know, like Bellator are good at putting exciting matchups together.
yeah. And like selling like a weird
Yeah.
narrative.
So like the crazy thing about Bellator, like it's definitely not the same level of organization as the UFC. You know?
Yeah.
Like the level of organization where like things are like security's at like an absolute maximum. Everything's in order, so forth. Yes, Roarke's gone past the gummies and gone straight to the prescription medication. Jeez, like it. So like it was like quite a relaxed vibe there, while still being like a big event. So yeah, it was awesome, bro. It was very, very, very cool.
Very nice. Very nice. So shall we take a look at what's been happening on our
Locally.
shores while you've been gone? Things
Yeah.
have been. Graham Cartner is the most wanted man in MMA at the moment.
What? What happened?
We should
No, I'm just saying it's funny. Like this time of year, everyone just like at EFC Graham, looking for a fight. You know what I mean?
I still think
When's
that they
the
should
first fight?
like organize the fighters into segments. Like they could have like a standardized, say, fitness test at the PI. We have guys choosing, cool, I want to fight, then you can come do that, and you can be added to like a separate bracket of people who are ready to go, in 6 weeks. Because often you get these guys who pitch up like big, out of shape, and they're like, come to the PI to have a chat with the boss. Like, yeah.
I mean,
Give us one example.
No, I'm just saying in general. So like,
Give us one example, boy.
names
Of oaks that are fat and out of shape at the PR doing photos like this. Who,
No one
boy?
knew I was doing that.
I can't think of anybody.
No. So I'm not talking about anyone specific,
Okay,
but I'm
cool.
saying that like you often get the problem is with people who are coming like far out of shape to try and get to a fight, right? Your chance of injuries are increased as well. So there needs to be a list of guys who are ready to rumble straight away,
I'm with you.
which is
I
a
hear
problem
you.
now as well because the divisions are a little bit thin, but still.
But you know what the thing is, right? You come out of shape. Like, how do you get out of shape? The only way you get out of shape is if you don't train.
Yeah.
Right? If you legitimately training twice a day and you're eating shit, you're not going to get like super overweight, right? You might not be shredded like you're about to fight, but you'll be generally in shape.
Yeah.
We ate the biggest load of shit for 3 weeks, right? But we trained twice a day, so no one got big, you know?
Yeah.
So like you have to like ask yourself like what are these oaks doing? So they're not training, they're eating like absolute savages, and then they want to come and ask for a fight.
Yeah.
Like that's the word. Like
See,
you shouldn't be training to like lose weight in your camp.
Yeah.
Well,
You
we've
should-
seen
You should be
firsthand-
losing weight because you were training in your
Yeah.
camp.
Not to mention names, but we've seen firsthand what happens when someone gets a big break. Okay, in this instance, it was the biggest one. The guy was going to fight for a title, but instead of being in shape, like training constantly, he got this news that he's going to fight for a title. And then instead of his training camp being about getting better and focusing on the guy who has to fight, it was about making sure he was losing weight every week.
Yeah, and that's
Yeah.
super straight. You like anyone knows, like to be like the pressure of losing weight is so difficult because now, like when you're stressed, it's difficult to lose weight. Now you're like stressed because you have to make the weight for this fight, and that's the only focus is on losing the weight. There's nothing about like sharpening your skill set or anything, preparing for this guy. It's just all about losing the weight. It's so frustrating to be a part of that camp.
See, I think there's still two groups of MMA athletes in South Africa. There's a guy who's still got the 9 to 5, you know what I mean, and he's kind of approaching MMA as the same way we would approach like club rugby. You know what I mean? It's just something I do on a Saturday afternoon kind of thing, you know. And then within that you've got guys who are doing that, but they're still training twice a day. They're still trying to like, you know, stay in as best shape as possible, like the Burskies, let's say, for example, because you can't put them in that same category because those oaks fucking get up and they get it done. And then you've got the full-time athlete. You know what I'm saying? So there's this constant like ebb and flow of you know, like guys being too financially motivated, saying, okay, cool, you know, I could use that 14th check this year. Let me pick up a fight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I know I can get it. And those people are the ones that are never complaining about money because they're like, well, fuck, I can get maybe like a 10 and 10, 20 grand in my pocket. You know what I
but
mean?
even-
bro.
But it's
I was in that boat.
Yeah, guys are just disorganized. It's not saying that you can't come into like get back to training out of shape. But I think it was at wow, hey, you weren't allowed to sign a fight until you had done like a 4-week pre-camp essentially.
Yeah,
I remember you guys used to have a
that's
list.
what we said, but the reality of it, that didn't happen.
No, but even so, like I
It
don't.
caused a lot of pressure. It caused a lot of fights. Yeah.
But I don't ever remember guys like Matt, Dave, Gareth getting in there out of shape, or looking out of shape leading up to it.
Yeah. Not the names you mentioned, but there were people in that camp that got to the fight out of shape. You know, like
Yeah, I think also a few years ago, but things were also slightly different. Guys were not. I mean, we've seen like a big evolution over the last 5 years. You know what I mean? A big change in thinking, a big
100%.
change in the way we train, a big way in the change we like approach things.
It's
you know,
almost
so-
impossible to be a part-time fighter anymore. It's just not realistic.
Well, in South Africa, it's becoming almost impossible to be a full-time fighter, dude. So it's,
Yeah, well, you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. You can either be broke and not earn any money and fight, or you can
be broken or earning money and train.
And like, you know, like we do give EFC a hard time regarding like the pay scale there, but I've been monitoring like like the pay structures in other organizations. Even like it's pretty shit all over. Like
Well,
unless you're in one of the big organizations, the money you're earning
Dude,
in these organizations is pretty cuck.
I'm pretty certain somebody told me or I read it somewhere that most guys in the UFC are starting with 5 and 5 or 10 and 10.
10 and 10, yeah, it's the starting.
You know what I mean? That's not massive money for the
Well,
world's leader. You know?
People see like 10 and 10, they're like, oh my god, that's so much money. That is great money if you don't live in America.
Yeah,
like if
yeah,
you live in America, that money isn't like put into perspective, right? Of that 10 and 10, let's say you don't win. Let's say you let's say you lose the fight, you only earn your 10,000, right? 10% of that goes to your trainer at least, right? So now you're down to 9,000. 10% of that goes to your management company. So now you're down to 8,000. 30% of that goes to taxes. Now you're down to 5,000, right? So now that person for 3 months got $5,000 and you have to live in America where your rent is like $2,500.
Yeah.
Like for
I
an apartment. Like that's not a lot of money. Like it's a lot of money if you did that and you came back to South Africa and you can live on South African in like the South African economy, you know, like you can,
But still, bro, that's also like 200,000 rand for the year. You know, if you get maybe you get another one, you get 400,000 for the year.
Yeah,
it's
100%.
not life-changing money.
and then like you want to go buy a cup of coffee, just $5. Like I mean, everything's way more expensive there. So like the money isn't phenomenal at the entry level in the UFC if you live in America. But then you look at like LFA, even some of the Bellator cards, people earning like
Yeah.
$1,000.
Just go and check Bellator 238 earnings. Yeah, but it's pretty crazy to me. Like it's quite funny how I think the sport in a whole is obviously in a weird position when it comes to salaries, you know. But I think like fighting at heart and the pugilistic side of fighting kind of encourages you to want more. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To work harder to get more, to fight harder to get more. I think that's how it's built up. You know what I mean? Like it's even this. To be honest,
Just scroll down, Rob.
They
I'm
showed
trying.
Cyborg's earnings. I thought you would have a lot more. So
No,
Julia Budd, I mean, in terms of purse, took $350,000. That's a good payday for a ladies' fight. And Cyborg's disclosed earnings were 250.
So what I was trying to explain to everyone is that this contract was apparently the biggest female MMA contract in history, right? So that disclosed earnings isn't even half of Amanda Nunes's biggest purse.
Yeah.
Right? It's only half of Cyborg's old purse. So you have to imagine that there's this massive amount of money that sits outside of the regulated earnings.
Yeah.
And I don't know what the tax structures in that are in America, but I can only assume that they did it on purpose.
Dude, look at this, bro.
$1,200. How are you meant to do anything with $1,200?
Prelim card, dude. So Tony
Oh my word,
Bartovich
that's
earned
like a tiny amount of money.
his purse was $1,500, dude.
There's oaks in South Africa that are earning more money than that. Like
$2,000, $2,250.
this is
Fuck.
Viacom money. This is MTV, Paramount money.
John Jones's cousin only got $4,500.
Just scroll down. We're not even at the bottom of it.
Yeah, one and a half seems
Yeah.
the entry level. That's not fucking great, eh?
Bro.
And how cock is it if you
one-
lose,
that-
you're
that
only earning one and a half.
That
dude.
$1,200, right, wouldn't have even covered his rent for the month. Not even his rent, bro.
Fuck.
Like, so like, yo,
Shame on you, Bellator.
we do give EFC a hard time, but it's not just the EFC. It is like a global situation. Like where the problem is that a lot of these organizations take the approach that the majority of the money must go to the champions, right?
Yeah.
Which is like understandable to a point, but at the same time, like, how do these other guys survive?
Yeah, dude.
And Bellator's brutal as well.
At least in Bellator, you can still get sponsors, bro.
Yeah, 100%.
That's one plus they got going for them.
But the other brutal part about Bellator is that they sign most of their guys on 1-5 contracts.
Yeah,
So
it's
most of
pretty
these oaks
hardcore.
won't be in Bellator in the next for their next fight. Yeah, bro, it's hectic.
That also being said, one big difference is that, let's say Miguel Jacob, who earned $1,500, doesn't get he gets one fight or one and done. You know, next weekend he can go and find something and go and earn the same money again. You know what I mean? And he can probably get 6-7 fights in a year. I mean, you're still not going to earn great money, but at least you can stay active. You know what I'm saying? Here, if you're not active in the EFC, sorry for you, mate.
Yeah, bro.
You know what I mean?
No, look, geographically, we are screwed. I mean,
Not only geographically, but there's no competition, so there's no alternative route.
no, 100%.
You know what I'm saying?
But I mean, we're having this conversation about guys in the UFC, like no one specific, but just in general about the UFC. It's like, one, it's so difficult to get into the UFC. Your best bet of getting into the UFC is if you sign to a management company that has what is that noise?
I thought you were had a bag of peanuts in your pocket
Yeah,
or something.
also.
You know, just sneaking them out at the end there.
The ways to get into the UFC are you either need to be signed to a management company that has a lot of pull with the UFC.
Yeah.
Right? Guys that have champions signed to their stable and they can kind of push the agenda to get you in on a contract, right? Alternatively, you have to be part of a camp that have big name UFC fighters in it. They can also push the agenda of getting you into the...
I suppose your coach it would have to have that kind of power and say, trust me, you need this kid. You know what I mean? You have to get to that kind of point.
You look at Chris and her team when they punted for Don to get a contract. Even with Chris, who's quite a powerful figure in MMA, she wasn't able to do it on her own.
Yeah.
She needed a lot of assistance from a lot of people to get that over the line, right? And Don's got a deep history of combat sports. You know,
Yeah.
he seems like the ideal person to, and he was the current champion of a continent. You know, so either you have to be part of a management company that can push the agenda, you have to be part of a camp that can push the agenda, or you need to be one of the guys that are the current champions of a region, and the UFC is going to that region and they need to fill up the undercard.
Sure.
And you get your quick chance at a prelim fight, and you that one done chance, like get a big knockout or a big sub and like keep your contract.
I.e. Danny Henry.
Yeah, exactly. And a lot of these guys get into the UFC like that. You know, like it's not easy to get into the UFC. Like you can't just go around winning
it's
local
fucking
fights. Like that's not going to help.
Yeah, you know, obviously I got into a bit of trouble for that today, but that's not really what I was saying. But that is the reality. You know what I'm saying is that where we are geographically, it's got to make so much sense for the UFC to pick you up. You know what I mean? And unfortunately, there's variables that are not in your control, like the opponents that you faced. You know what I mean? If they're not deemed as great, you know how many guys have been looked at by the UFC and looked at who they've lost to, like way back when, and said, well, you know, you lost to Ruan Potts. Potts came here, was demolished, you know, so we don't really see the value. You know what I mean? So a lot of that happened. I mean, Andrew Funzel was a good example. I think that's kind of what the winner between him and Potts won. They were starting to look at a possibility of taking one of those guys. Potts won that fight. Is he the better fighter? I don't think so personally.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
but he won the fight, which is what.
So there's a lot of those things that happen, you know, and we are so geographic. I don't even think guys here look.
Sorry.
What are you doing?
I didn't even mean for that to
Boy,
happen.
no more gummy bears for you.
Yeah, that
okay?
oak's done, bro.
You cut off. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't even think guys even realize, like, Chris Cyborg for the UFC didn't really want to pay for her to fly from here to America.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's, okay, they didn't have the best relationship, but
Yeah,
that's the
look,
difficulties. You know
That's
what
the
I mean?
other
Like,
thing with like the UFC and these. Like if they don't like you, they'll make your
Soz-
life
Sozbut.
extremely difficult.
Sozbut.
So like I think Rafael Dos Anjos is a great example of that as well. Like that oak's on the UFC shit list. So they're literally giving him everyone that can fucking beat
Healthy
him.
Dos Nachos.
Bro,
How many losses has he had in a row? Quite a
I think
few
he's like
now.
lost 5 out of 7 or something like that.
That's a tough day at the office.
He must have a seriously water sound contract to like keep himself there, bro.
But like they just use him as that kind of gatekeeper kind of thing now. Like
I know,
get
but
a good win here.
But they're
you know.
just building guys with him.
That's
now.
what I'm saying. That's
Like
that's
they
what
don't
he's
have. There's
doing.
no like sympathy or empathy towards like your current situation. You know. Look at that. 1, 2,
He beat
3,
Kevin Lee,
4.
bro.
So
I'd
he's
love
lost
to see
4.
the rematch between him and Kevin.
He's
Lee.
lost 4 out of 5.
Shusty, but look at who he's fought:
Yes,
Brooke
he-
Colby, Kamaru,
That's
Kevin
what I'm
Lee,
saying.
Leon Edwards, Michael
Like
Chiesa,
someone that's got favor,
and Robbie Lawler before that.
bro. That's someone who's got
Fucking
favor.
hell, dude.
If someone with favor with the UFC started losing, they would feed them like a 25th, 30th ranked type of guy.
Yeah.
Get them back into winning ways, and then like build them back up to the top 10 guys, and then like get them in. You know?
Did he
Yeah,
lose
they're
to
like-
Khabib twice? Did I read that right? No, it can't be.
No.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, they're like, cool. You're losing. We're gonna give you the next best guy that can beat you.
Yeah.
Cool. You lost that one. Cool. We're gonna give you another good guy that's gonna beat you. Cool. You lost that one. Cool. Here's another guy, and they just basically drive you out of town. You know. And they also depreciate your value going elsewhere.
Yeah, yeah.
Because now he goes to Bellator. He doesn't have much of a sway if he wants to get into Bellator. He'll probably go to ONE FC because he's signed with that Evolve MMA. Like they'll probably give him some decent money, but yeah, bro. This is a clear example. Like you have to be a company man, and it's easy not to be a company man because you know you don't take that short notice fight that they want you to take, and you're back on the back burner.
Dude, that's a big
It's a
thing. At the
brutal
moment.
sport, bro.
Yeah, I was listening to them talk about guys like Justin Gaethje, and Dana White was like, Gaethje keeps turning down the fights. You know what I mean? He's like, oh, I never turned that down. But then he actually, like, through the interview, whether he realized it or not, he was like, oh, you know, there was a Conor fight that was agreed to, but then this happened, you know, so I had to pull out, or the date wasn't right. So they were like, but hang on, bro. So you did actually turn down fights. You turned down the Conor fight firstly already, after they agreed, and you turned down another fight. So now, like, Dana White's like,
Bro, and the UFC doesn't
dude,
like if you
you
turn
know
down
what I
fights,
mean?
bro.
Now you want to say you the next in line for Conor. They're like, no, bro, well, you had the opportunity and you fucking squandered it. So, You know.
That's the problem. Is like turning down fights is the biggest no-no in the
Yeah,
UFC.
It's a big one. What did you have pulled up, Nana, locally there, Roarke?
Sorry, I just noticed something interesting. Both times he's beaten Donald Cerrone, he's immediately lost the next fight.
That's pretty interesting.
Okay, Garimba Karam.
So this is what's happened while you've been away. Garimba versus Karam, which has gone official. Duplessis versus Stefan Pretorius, nice little fight. And Colin Hume versus a moving punching bag.
Techno Warrior.
Techno Viking.
I hope he
Viking.
gets fine just so I can hear his walkout. It's the best. Love that walkout. Have you not heard his walkout?
Bro, I have heard his workout,
No,
but you
it's-
need about like one sheet of LSD tablets before you can enjoy it.
It's good.
At least.
Bro, that is, yeah.
The only walkout.
And then Smith versus who? There's a Smith on there.
No, that's a
That's
mistake.
Techno Viking.
No, go click on it. I think it's
Click.
Jeremy Smith.
Oh, there.
I did tell a guy about this last week. It still hasn't been changed. He's like, go back and check it now. I'm like, yeah, dude, it's still the same.
Scroll down. There.
Yeah.
Oh,
Jeremy
Jeremy
Ooh,
Smith.
that's a conspiracy.
That was one of
The
the
comeback.
that was one of the call outs that happened.
Let's
over
see
all the
Fight
things.
of the Year rematch, but in the EFC.
I see Jeremy and Mzwandile won Fight of the Year in Brave.
Yeah.
It was a cracker. It was a good fight.
Mm.
But
No, it was a good fight. Fight of the Year, though.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
a pretty big statement. Bro.
Fight of the Year is something
have
like...
you noticed Brave's new thing now? It's like not the biggest fight of the year in Brave. It's the biggest fight in MMA. I'm like,
Oh, yeah, they did that
I'm
thing
like,
the other day where
is
they're
it?
like, Brave,
Is
the
it?
greatest fight promotion in the world, 2019. I was like,
Bro, I was
you're
trying to...
forgetting
no,
about
they just became recognized as a global promotion. Is actually what was going on. They're like,
They only
okay,
have to
cool.
go to every country
You're a
ever.
global promotion. We recognize you.
But what I find... I was trying to explain to someone the other day when they were going to do that 16-man absolute tournament
Yeah.
for the 6-kilogram gold belt.
Yeah.
And then, but they like, with no offense to Brave, but they do weird things then. And they're like, okay, no, it's only a 4-man tournament now.
Yeah, yeah.
And they're like, okay, cool. These two guys that aren't in the tournament, the winner of that's going to hold the belt for us until
Yeah.
the 4-man
Yeah.
tournament. You're like, what's going on around here, bro? Like, I thought it's meant to be a 16-man. You like announced like Cole Miller and Fedor's brother and like
Pharaoh's brother had hip, bro. He had the hip.
and like
He
now
couldn't-
now
he
like
wasn't
that,
clear.
now the 16-man tournament that had its own separate website is no longer happening anymore. And now it's a 4-man tournament, and they're gonna take the belt from the guy that's just holding it for them.
Yeah. You
It's
just
like-
can just keep his belt for a little while.
It's like,
See
what's
how cool
going
it could
on
be.
around here?
Yeah, it's very crazy. They do some crazy things.
You know what
This
I
is
think?
a cool fight, though,
Despite
this
the problem is,
comes
I
to
think
me.
as much as it's really cool that they travel all over the place, the problem is with not having like a base nation or area that you operate in. It's so hard to build like fan bases behind certain fighters because they've got new fighters all the time.
I think that number one, and number two, like when the UFC go to all of these various territories around the world, it's the same guys that fly in, set up, dismantle,
a
same
good
production
point.
crew, same everything, right? Whereas unfortunately for the smaller global promotions, it's like, cool, we're going to South Africa, we're going to put together a South African team. And like that team hasn't had all the growing pains and learned all the
Experience,
mistakes
yeah.
that the other teams have done. So I bet you like the events in Bahrain must be mind blowing
Yeah, they must be epic.
from
yeah.
Brave, right? But I think we get a heavily watered down version of that because you got these localized teams trying to like roll out this global brand, and they obviously haven't had all the growing pains that the
Yeah, dude, and you can't have a show like Brave that relies on broadcasting to the rest of the country on a stream, and then your stream's fucked. You know what I mean?
exactly right.
Like that just looks terrible. We understand issues happen, but if imagine the UFC and they're like, sorry, your fight pass just it is
Crashed,
what it is. Yeah, sorry, we it is what it is.
Bro, that would be a shitstorm.
Can you
like.
imagine, bro? Like
Yeah.
you can't. It just doesn't work like that, bro. Like I think we've gotten used to the fact that the EFC couldn't organize a stream in internet land. But you know what I mean? Like you've come to expect that. You're like, cool, surprise, surprise, no stream. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, 100%.
But you can't be a recognized global promotion and then come here and can't have a stream.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Agreed.
So what I wanted to say, that was one of the things that's been going on. Jeremy Smith hinting at the trilogy between him and Soldier Boy.
How are they gonna organize that fight? UFC.
They wouldn't. It's just an option.
Is he still contracted to Brave?
I don't think so. I would imagine not. He's had quite a string there.
Please, UFC, make that happen.
I don't think it will. I can tell you now, EFC is already looking at Lazar vs Soldier Boy. Look, bro.
Who's Bullet gonna fight?
I think he's gonna fight Roarke. Roarke or Dallas Jacoby would be my bet.
I think those are two good fights.
Yeah, we spoke.
It's a good fight. Think about it. You need someone that's
Dallas
not
sounds
gonna
like
take
a
him
good
down.
fighter. I don't know. Why do you say Gordon's a good fighter?
Well, he could fight anywhere between middleweight and heavyweight. So I think we wait to see.
No, but like with no disrespect to Gordon, like why Gordon though?
Because you know what the
why
thing
Gordon?
is, Gordon will. I think Gordon will stand in there and throw punches.
Look, let's put it this way.
Look at that fight with Karen Skinner. Look at his fight with
Georgie
Georgiev. Look at his fight with
Gorgeous Georgie.
No, he fought someone else. He ended up bloodied up. No, yeah, but that was long recently. He fought someone. They both got super bloodied up. Who was that?
Look, I mean,
Georgie.
He comes to fight.
Yeah.
But I don't know, like what type of fight it's going to end up being. You know?
Look, this is my theory behind it. You want to give. You don't want to. If you want to get someone like James Dalton and invest and have that show kind of mentality, people tuning in to see what the fuck's going to happen.
Yeah.
You cannot give him like someone, let's say, obviously not in the same weight class, but someone like Iga Cabeza, who's just going to wrestle his fucking face off.
No, 100%.
That's worthless to everybody. You know 100%. What I'm saying? You want to give him like. Again, with all disrespect,
all
disrespect to
like
these fuckers.
Brutal,
all respect to it, man. Like you want to give him a fight that can be deemed winnable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like someone that's gonna stand and throw leather, and not really like look for the takedown. You know what I mean?
That still has a name
That
though. Like you can't give him. You
exactly.
can't give him like.
Dude, to be honest, Gordon
someone
Whitman fits that profile for me perfectly. That's the way I would match that fight.
Yeah, well,
what the fuck do I know about matchmaking? A lot, but not a lot.
You sell it somewhere in Joburg or Pretoria, the people are definitely gonna come watch that fight.
Bro,
my only thing is, I don't think you bring Dalton up to make an MMA debut at fucking altitude. I think that's a disaster.
I think you put. I think the Dallas Jacoby fight makes the most sense. Dallas was a former champion. He like looks the part. You know, he's like all bodied up.
Yeah, I'm with you, dude.
He's all bodied up.
Either
like,
or.
That makes the most sense. And you know, like he's a very big name.
Yeah. No, look, I like that fight. Dallas Jacoby would be fucking epic. That was the first name that I said.
Yeah.
Was Dallas.
But now, I mean, we're going into the realm of freak show events now.
Dude, whatever fucking sells the tickets, bro.
I'm not like completely against it, but at the same time, like I think the EFC's like business model is definitely shifting slightly to sports entertainment rather than like professional combat sports.
Look, bro. One of the big things that we've set out to talk about is that financially we don't know what the EFC is where they're at the moment, what 2020 looks like, what their plan is, what the vibe's like. Okay, they've announced 10 shows, but you know they announced 10 shows last year. Things can change.
Yeah,
we're 5 weeks out from the first event of the year. Hey, 5 weeks. We don't have a card. There's no talk. I've heard of talks of one other fight, but there's still an argument about dates and stuff.
Share the news. Share the news.
You know, so there's 5 weeks, and we're exactly where we were being frustrated last year. You know what I mean? Like there's still no card, which means that there's. I don't want to say there hasn't been preparation, but there's obviously. I don't know why the EFC does this, whether it's a matter of let's see how much money's in at the time, what we can do with it, or it's just like poor planning. You know what I mean?
I suppose it's also difficult to put together a card before the December break. You know, like South Africa has this anomaly where things shut down for a month. Right? And people are dead keen before it shuts down for the month. Then they do the month holiday and they come back. I had a nice December. I got injured in December. Whatever the situation is. Right, so I think it is difficult to like build the card over that period of time, but actually, like week 1 you're back.
100%. But you should have, like, in my head,
Especially if 9,000 guys.
dude, if I was driving the wheel, bro, for the next, especially after a long break, for the next 3 events, I would be already in my head have a plan for the main event, co-main event, and maybe one more, at least for the next 3 events. What I have in my head, and those negotiations would be happening now already for the next 2 and 3 events. You know what I mean? That's where I'd be like, listen, even if it's a money thing, you'd be like, listen, okay, Temba Garimba. So you've been in talks with Temba and you've been in talks with Lal, and you say, look, this fight we're negotiating. Yeah. What's the next one? What's the co-main here? Let's get the talk. Let's open the conversation. Let's put them on the board. Let's say this is what I want to do, and let's start mapping it out. And then you can start, while that's happening, start to slot in the prelims. You're like, okay, look, which fighters are going to be budget friendly and exciting in the prelims, that I can start to jot out the prelims and start, okay. So the problem for me is what I think is happening at the EFC. You got one person trying to, I don't know who's calculating all of this. They say, okay, look, let me put, like Roarke was saying, you got different fighters. So these are my prelim fighters, what I consider prelim fighters in the card. Let me send out who wants in on March. Yeah. I need to know today by 10 o'clock. If you don't reply by 10 o'clock, you're not going to be considered. Okay, cool. Now I've got some cool matchups happening. You know what I mean? Like, I just think
it'd be interesting.
I don't know. I don't know how it's done. I don't know how they operate. I'm just saying that's the way I would want to do it, and try and work around that budget as best as possible. At least have the conversations open. You know what I mean? Yeah. Instead of, and that's why we see all of this at EFC Graham, ready for 2020, this, that, get me a fight, because I just don't think these guys have, look, they're obviously trying to get like that little snowball on social media, but I just don't know if these guys are communicating in the right way, if they're conversation, you know, like it seems to me like 4 weeks out, we're like, fuck, we better start speaking to these oaks. Okay, cool. You're in. We can't talk about purse right now. We'll talk about close to the time. Sign the contract. I don't know, man. It's difficult. I just think.
Well, the thing is, you have to talk about purse before you sign the contract, because it's in your addendum. Yeah. So like how it works, for those of you who don't know, you sign like a primary contract that kind of just outlines the terms of service and like what the period is that you are contracted to them, and what the limitations are with this arrangement. And then for every fight you sign a fight addendum. So that addendum then stipulates you fighting this person, and this is the agreed purse amount, this is the agreed bonus amount, and this is the date it'll take place, this is the venue will take place. If any of those things change, you have to re-sign the contract, right? What I'd love to get Graham in here. You know, like it's obviously a massive talking point for every card. You're like, oh fuck, why is the card not ready? You know, like I'd love to get Graham's like response as to, because you know we can obviously assume like fighters aren't easy to work with. Fighters also get injured. They can also be temperamental at times. Some of them are crazy. They don't pitch up for certain things, right? So I can understand like the dynamic of dealing with fighters, but like it would be interesting to hear what Graham's side of like how he tries to set it up in advance and like what materializes from there.
Sure. Yeah, be interesting. But there's been action for the year, so it seems like there's some. It's like the comeback season 2020. A lot of dudes crawling out of the woodworks you haven't seen.
When is Commander Boy and Silk Cummings?
Dude, so it sounds like Joe Cummins versus Eleni Lunga is not happening, inevitably.
Well, I don't ever see Joe coming back.
So I think it's a fact of Joe trying to move on, and the fact that EFC just don't have the funds to bring out European fighters and camps and teams, which is fine by me. Well, I don't mind that.
Jake Hadley's gone.
Yeah, Jake Hadley's gone.
So there's no more.
Joe Cummins must be like one of the few internationals left.
Yeah.
That we think. Oh, and him and Jared Van Der Aar.
Manon.
Yeah. So look at that. Heavyweight, flustered, nobody there.
International champion. That's the problem.
International champion and no contenders.
Yeah.
Realistically, light heavyweight.
No one.
Dead in the water. Okay, we've got Simon Bion.
Your one option who was like had a decent record, buggered off to Aries.
Yeah.
In Triple H.
Yeah, Triple H. But now you've got Simon Bion and maybe Trickers du Plessis.
Another international champion.
Yeah, they fight. That's it. Light heavyweight's
that's
done,
only fight
bro.
you can do in that.
Okay, Gideon Drotsky can still mess around in that division.
Look,
okay.
I think for
Welterweight,
anyone who was there the
lightweight.
night that Simon Biong won his title would be very reluctant to hop in there.
Ooh, dude.
Those when he was throwing those elbows from Mount, it literally sounded like two pieces of meat were like just slapping and crunching, and the bones. I was like, no thanks.
Yeah. And then you went and did that to a Russian in Russia.
Yeah,
When was it? It was not in Russia. Where were they?
In Japan.
In Japan, yeah.
At Ryzen.
Fucking crazy, dude.
Middleweight.
So, middleweight.
You got Drickus you have to share with KSW.
So,
And who
Drickus,
isn't willing
yeah.
to compete against the next tier of guys. So middleweight's fucked.
but then at least you've got a few exciting fights there. You know what I mean? You've got Neil Duplessis, Stefan Pretorius, which is a nice fight.
Hopefully Neil Duplessis versus Drickus Duplessis for the middleweight and Duplessis title.
Roarke, why are you sitting like this?
You know, you've got
How's that
maybe
gummy,
gonna
how's
see
that gummy treating you?
James Dalton in there. Stay with us, boy. Stay with us. Lightweight. There's a lot of great fights at lightweight, but they have to decide on the champion.
After Temba versus Lyle, what is going to happen?
That's it. Yeah.
Timber versus Justin
Yeah.
Smith.
Ah, nice roll.
So
Good
this
job,
is what, this
good
is what
job.
we were saying. Like this is how all of this conversation started. The how better would it have been for them to have the welterweight Grand Prix now?
Yeah.
Because now it's fucking legit. Let Timber fight Karam, and like in the next two cards have 4-4 fights. So well, I think we figured out. So we got Justin Smith, Pupanga, Conrad Siabi, Jose De Rocha, Sean DeLange, Luke Michaels. So that's already 6 dudes. You know, so really
Yeah,
you've
yeah.
got 6 dudes that you could try find a contender out of. You know what I'm saying?
Throw Kaleka Kubanda in there.
Yeah, block if he's still around.
Yeah, it's
Even Bruno Makula, bro, if you really want to clutch at it.
yes, yeah.
To make an 8-man
walkout song.
And to make an 8-man tournament. Please don't play that walkout song.
But you know how many people don't know that thing's in existence, and then I show them, and they're like,
the best thing ever, bro.
"No."
It's the best thing ever. So yeah, it would have been fuck. And luckily for the EFC, the way it worked out.
Lightweight's got guys to compete, but it's held up at the moment. Top.
Ooh, you know what they're talking about is guess who's back? The old monkey. Is it the
I did
wise
see
monkey
that.
or the old monkey?
At lightweight or at
Makishi, yeah.
Yeah.
He's gonna come back at lightweight.
Are they?
And there's talks of him
Chilombo.
fighting. Take a guess.
Papanga?
This is a
Rudy Roots.
big rumor. No,
Papanga.
no,
Anisette.
no,
August Kambala.
no.
Uh,
Saxon Delafield.
Nice. It's a good. I mean, if Saxon gets a win over him, it's good on his record because that guy
Dude, and if he gets
Chilombo's running all those wins, and if Chilombo wins, then he's immediately
Yeah.
in the
if he
picture.
goes 4-0 with a win over Saxon, dude, you got a brand new contender there.
Yeah, quick sticks.
Yeah.
Old
Old MBS. What did we do to see him back in there?
Who? Oh yeah.
Martin. Dion Brunnen, we were talking about maybe seeing him back in there. Armand Skippers.
Martin's a beast, bro.
That's nice of the EFC.
You know, you scroll through this and you like.
But dude, listen, there's a lot of divisions here in the EFC that have got a lot of fucking problems. We got no ladies divisions. We got flyweight is done, bantamweight's okay, featherweight's a disaster.
The thing
There's
is, like-
nothing there. Okay, well, there's Iga Cabesso. When else did he fucking fight, dude? Can't fight Pure Berta again.
Is he
Maybe
keen
he's
to
gonna
fight again?
So yeah, he's called out Ronaldo Exon and Rudy Ritz. He's said he wants the fight. He says he can't sit anymore. You know.
I thought he was doing the wrestling for DRC.
Well, you know, as things go with Iga, things change.
Well, here's a fight for Iga, right? He's struggling to get someone to fight him. Elaine is struggling to get someone to fight him.
Oh, dude, they can't be.
Iga can
they
make
can't
lightweight.
meet at lightweight, dude.
Iga,
That's
Iga's
a welterweight squeezing to lightweight and a featherweight forcing to get to lightweight.
But
Iga beat some very big lightweight names.
But Commander Boy spent most of his career at featherweight.
Fair enough. Not the worst fight. So let's put
Oh
it out
man,
there.
I'd pay to see that fight.
Send me a message saying Cabeza versus Ilunga, and I'll started on social media tomorrow.
Nice.
Why not, bro? Why not? Look, so I think he's asking for Ronaldo X. You see, I don't know what the EFC, if they can't bring out Europeans, can they bring Brazilians? That's a question we'd have to answer first.
Yeah.
If not, can he take the Rudy Roots fight? Is it
Well,
the
I'm
right
sure
time?
they're willing to spend the money for a title fight main event.
Yeah, I suppose.
What I think should happen is carve down the divisions, put some of them on hold. Like light heavyweight doesn't exist. Like,
it's non-existent.
Like you brought someone in to be the champion. He's not going to hang around. He just won at Ryzen. He's going to keep moving along. Like put some of the divisions on hold. Put a lot of emphasis on a couple of other. Everyone loves watching featherweight. Everyone loves watching lightweight. Everyone loves watching welterweight. Keep the heavyweight division going, and then move it on from there. You know, and the ladies is non-existent.
8 fights per card.
I don't think 8 fights per card, 8 events per year.
So this is the next question. How do we solve this problem? Because like everyone say, it's one thing to point it out. So this is what you're saying.
We get hold of that.
Dead divisions, we just leave them as fucking dead.
Yeah.
Flowerweight's
gone.
We're not going to try and
ex-flyweight.
We're not going to try and sort this out. We're not going to try and fill up somewhere. Like you can't not have a heavyweight division though, dude.
Yeah.
You know
I would
what I mean?
love to see the viewership numbers on flyweight main events in South Africa. I can't believe that they would even come close to a featherweight, lightweight, or welterweight main event.
But that's all around the world, bro.
100%.
Ask
That's
Demetrius
why
Johnson, bro. He'll
pretty
tell you
much
straight up.
the UFC flyweight division non-existent, bro.
Well, Joseph Benavidez and Formaggio will disagree with you, but anyway.
Yeah, but I mean...
But yeah, they're going to sell 2 pay-per-views.
Yeah. That's the problem.
I hear you.
You got the greatest fighter of all time that can't sell pay-per-views.
Look, I got no problem. It's cuck because we've got quite a few flyweights and we've got some pretty good fucking flyweights. It sucks that maybe some of those guys are just going to fall off because they cannot get up to bantamweight. But at the same time, I would rather, I mean, in terms of the sport growing, the heavier divisions is where the action is. You know what I mean? Especially like welterweight, middleweight, light heavy. We've never had the most amazing heavyweight division. You know what I mean? We've had great heavyweight fighters, but the division as a whole there's never been like a time where it's just been like heavy.
But I mean, at least you had like the era of the Andrew versus Ruan trilogy, the Norman versus Ruan fight, the Norman versus Bernardo fight. You know, there's been some like good fights over the years at heavyweight, and the thing that's never existed is light heavyweight.
Yeah,
it's just never existed.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like at a very high level, shave away all the excess, focus on a couple of divisions, build up those divisions until they're like world-class divisions. Reduce the amount of fights to reduce your overheads. You know, like in any organized sport around the world, there's like a regulation that either that 51%, I can't remember like exactly what it is, but I think like in the NBA, 49% of all the turnover goes back to the athletes and salaries.
Yeah.
And 51 can be taken. And then like in one of the other organizations, it's 50-50. Like that's the actual problem with MMA is that the organizations don't follow those type of guidelines, like world standards. Like the UFC, 20% of their earnings goes back to fighter salaries. Bellator, though, 50% of their earnings goes back to
fuck, they're earning nothing because the guys are getting paid.
Guys
chips,
are getting
bro.
fucking paid peanuts, bro. But like, you know, it's just...
But look, the thing is, it's a catch-22. I'm with you. I don't think we need 10 events. I don't think we need it.
We only need 12 fights on a card.
You know what I mean? We will be happy with 8 good events. We can go to Cape Town twice, cut off 2 cards, only go to Pretoria. Let's forget about the armpit out there, the big nipple in the sky. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's have 8 well-run, like, good events.
Yeah.
8 fights. Or actually, I'm still like 9, 10 fights for me. Like 5 and 5.
If you got 9, 10 quality fights, yeah.
5 and 5,
but
or like 4 prelims, 5 main cards. I'm happy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I obviously, I mean, the EFC got the reasons, and then that's how they roll. But wouldn't that start making a little bit more sense? Let's cut it down to 8, and let's really focus on those 8.
Yeah.
Let's get the cards sorted out early. Let's punt and sell those cards. You know, maybe invest a bit more in marketing. Get the guys back on radio. Get them talking. You know, get them doing public events.
Yeah.
Get that hype going. You know what I'm
100%.
saying? Like, you know, like with Drickus' homecoming for me, I felt like there was a lot to miss. You know what I mean? A lot to miss.
Well, it just.
You know, like
I
he
think
could've-
the marketing machine has just drastically
Yeah, just
slowed
dried
down.
out. Yeah.
But I think the EFC also need to start focusing on African development.
Yeah.
Like going to like I know it's easier said than done. Like just go into Africa. You know, like there's a lot of risk in doing it. But I mean, you got 2 international promotions that have never been on African soil coming. Well, one's just been on African soil coming to South Africa. You know, like what the heck? Like why can't the EFC, who's meant to be the premier MMA promotion in Africa, why can't they go into Africa like other African territories?
I don't even think they have to go into African territories, but I think we need to start hunting talent. And you know, this is what I was thinking about today on the way home. I was like, well, what would I do different? Let's say in the hypothetical position that I was in charge in the EFC. Do you know what I would do? It's like as a passionate fan, first of all, is I'd be going to Alpha MMA. You know what I mean? And I'd arrive there, you know, like not saying anything to anyone, just arrive and be like, and before I arrive, say, which are the guys that I'm looking at? You know what I mean? Because you, as a matchmaker or EFC president or like for any organization, I'm not saying it's unique to the EFC. Imagine if I walk into that event for the 4 last main fights, and these youngsters who they know how important I am for their career, and they see me there, it's going to galvanize them a little bit, you know what I mean? It's going to give them like, fuck, you know, he saw me tonight, had a good fight, maybe that call's going to come, kind of thing, you know what I mean? Kind of create that hype. Go and see like the BJJ comps, who are the dudes that are the killers. Go to, you know, like, and,
I mean, that's
and
what
start,
Bellator's doing.
exactly, and start traveling around, you know, I'm saying in my personal capacity,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And go see Angolan top team and go visit them and say, okay, look, this is a reasonably big team in Africa. They're quite well known. They've got good jiu-jitsu players. They've got good fighters. Go there and spend 3 days with them. You know what I mean? Like, who are your prospects? I want to see them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And be like, cool, you know, get another win or whatever and give me a call. You know, those kind of things. You know what I mean? Just that. I just feel like we're missing a bit of passion locally. I'm saying in the sport on a whole. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Unfortunately, passion can be killed with the lack of finances.
Sure.
To like follow the passion.
Exactly. 100%.
So it's like a weird situation. Fortunately, we don't fucking run the EFC.
Or unfortunately.
Because I don't know if I would have got the EFC to where it is today.
No, 100%. 100%.
But at the same time, like we're just trying to figure out a solution for something that we love so much.
Look, it's not to say that the EFC is in cuck. I'm just saying there's obvious problems.
Yeah.
You know, we're still going to get great fights. I still think you're probably still going to get 8 to 10 events this year. You're still going to see some cool fights. You know what I mean? You're still going to have.
Didn't they promise 10 this year?
Yeah, but you know, things can change. Yeah, things can change. You know, look, the catch-22 here is that you're trying to put on a show to attract sponsors.
Yeah.
But you're restricted on how good of a show you can put because you don't have the funds.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, it's a fucking cuck situation.
What's crazy is that the fighter was 1 year ago already.
Yeah. That's
That
also,
felt like
are we
the
going
other
to
day.
see a fighter season 3? It's a lot of money goes into it.
Who was
We
talking
haven't
about
heard
the
anything.
fighter season 3 heavyweights?
We were talking. We said that's what we were saying. That's what I would do this year.
Yeah.
Or light heavy, have a light heavyweight, or ladies in heavyweight like they did in the UFC.
Problem is you're gonna have to bring in international talent.
No,
again.
you see, I wouldn't. I would source it locally and African.
But maybe African, like as in guys based in the DRC, Angola,
Yeah.
Morocco,
Or
all
even
those-
guys based here trying to make like debuts, Congolese, open it up and make it like a tournament style. You know what I mean?
But
Like,
then,
okay,
like,
it's only 3 weeks and there's 140 of you and you fight to the death.
But then, like
investment.
your obviously your target audience for viewership is going to be Africa itself.
Yeah, but I mean that's the
Whereas
model.
like the previous broadcast partners were definitely European and American
Yeah, true.
orientated. Yeah, it's like a weird situation. If you could bring back any oaks to like revitalize,
Okay, this is a good question. I like this. Not even like bring people back, but like people that are stagnant
yeah,
that we could see. Well, boo, I mean, like in the welterweight division, talking about Pupango already. You're talking about what about Frenchie? I don't even know if he's still around.
he lives in Senegal now, so I don't even know if he's trained.
Sean DeLange, he's got to get active. You know what I mean? Roarke,
But do you think-
let's go
Do
through
you
some
think
of the
any
weight
three of
divisions.
those guys would like revitalize the?
No, but you want to start bringing these kind of
Yeah.
guys back.
I'm talking like like if you had a bit of
If
cash,
Drickus is gone, who's the next dude to like really sell out the stadium?
is there anyone like that's on the fringes that you could bring into the organization to like
Here we go, Simon Stevens all over again.
to like bring into like who was that British heavyweight that used to live in the UK, fought in UFC once, got dolloped? Like I was talking like that type of thing. Like, is there anyone that exists like that?
Dude, James Dalton is a good
James
start.
Dalton's a great start.
It's a great start. Maybe we're gonna convince one or two other like
James Dalton
PS
versus Norman Vessels.
Let's
that's
go
no,
to
the
cricket.
rest-
We bring Graham Smith in. and
yeah,
see.
Graham Smith, bro. You know,
Zulu should bring Zulu in.
Yeah.
Yes.
listen, do you know
That oak
who,
used to dollop oaks, eh? Little bar fights, old Lance Klusner.
do you know who told me once that the EFC was trying to convince him to convert to MMA? Was Kevin Larena,
Oh, that would be hectic.
but
bro.
he's like, can't afford me, boy.
Who do
Yeah,
you?
yeah.
Plain
Who
and-
do
plain
you?
and simple.
Have you heard those boxing
Yeah, dude,
contracts?
that like earns solid money.
Also, who do you convince to fight him? Okay, listen, we've got this guy's owner in MMA. We want you to. Oh yeah, I'll definitely take it. The guy's owner. Oh yeah, what's his name? Kevin Arena. What?
He would fight at like light heavyweight, bro.
Yeah, but he's like a proper light heavyweight, bro. That oak's
Yeah.
jacked. Would be jacked at light heavyweight.
Him versus James Dalton.
No, please don't do that. Like
Well,
imagine Kevin
Bulletin
Larena versus,
with a chance, bro. If you can
versus
get
Chad Hannakombut
yeah, I know, bro. Look,
or
Uh,
Drickus.
unfortunately, with Chad would tear that oak to pieces.
Yeah, the wrestling, yeah.
Yeah. But that's the problem. It's like these guys don't want to do it because there's this massive gaping hole that like really is super difficult to close. I mean, look at James Toney. James Toney got like completely manhandled in under a minute. Like there wasn't even like his opponent didn't even throw a punch. Just took him down, subbed him. That was the end of the fight. So like every boxer after that's been like, whoa, don't want to do that transition. Come to boxing. Like
Oh, Marcel Teniers. We will miss
what a
him.
boychi.
Well, DeMart just left a little
like
cryptic
that's what I'm
message that
talking
he's
about.
on his way back. Urshad Syed's been
Oh,
playing
run
with the
that.
idea.
We
Run
wanna
that
see
trilogy,
number
bro.
3.
We want to see number 3.
We want to see
Sign
number
us up.
3.
You know what I mean? That's
I
that's
agree,
that's a big fight for
But that's
South
what I'm talking
Africa.
about. Like Urshad's on the fringes. Like he came
Yeah.
back. Like he's got a bit of a name. You
Dude.
know, bring him and DeMart. They can fight each other for a third time.
Justin Smith keeps winning. He's the kind of guy who's
Yeah.
going to bring a lot of support, bring a lot of eyes. You know what I mean? Timber's doing good things. I think Timber's building up a solid base of fans. You know what I mean? Like he's
Yeah.
very active. He's very smart.
He won Zimbabwean Sports Person of the Year.
$200,000. We're just not sure which dollars. Because if it's Zim dollars, not too bad. If it's US dollars,
US dollars.
drinks are definitely on Timber.
Yes,
He better wear a
US
gold
dollars.
crown next time he comes to like a
Oh,
proper
bro, if
real
I
gold
want
crown.
200, bro, everyone would know about it if I won 200,000 US dollars, bro. I'd write that on my forehead, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, $200,000. Wow.
about-
Let's say the taxman takes 30% of that. Sweet, bro. It's like chump change.
See ya. What about like look, bro? As fan favorites, and especially the way a lot of South African MMA fans are, they want to see two big guys beating the snot out of each other. So in terms of heavyweights, who would you match up to make like the perfect fan friendly hammer for like leather on leather heavyweight fight here at the moment? It doesn't even. I mean, even if you could find somebody else.
Kevin Kokomo versus Jean Bezaidenat.
I think they've got a future star in the making to Bunny and DeBella.
Yeah, but
right?
he's inactive, dude.
I hear you. But if they could somehow like, look, then they're gonna struggle to match his doctor's salary.
Tabani versus Ricky Masholis is again the fight I want to see.
Yeah, I'd like that fight. I think that'd be a
And
cool fight.
I wonder if the most important question to heavyweight is: does Mpata Makishi still rock that hairdo?
That would be amazing. I thought there was like a little.
What about bringing
Yeah.
Bernardo Makishi back?
Oh, do you know who's also
Remember when
Van
that goes to
Dam?
fight?
I saw Van Dam post something that he's now clear to fight. His sentence is up. Remember, he popped for
Bro,
diuretic.
I'm sure that sentence was up long ago though.
Anyway,
Oh, Roarke, we haven't gone to Sades yet this year.
yeah, let's end the show on a little visit to Sades.
Okay.
Dude, are you okay? Like, what you...
thinking about what I was gonna do there.
Yeah, that gummy definitely
Yes, dude.
destroyed Roarke.
All you have to do is go to the Sades website, boy. Nothing intricate.
Did you enjoy that gummy?
Yeah, you know, I'm having a good time.
Oh man.
Part of me keeps thinking the stairs on the side. I'm like, yeah, bro, just chill out. Oh, that's a laugh.
Oh man.
Thank you, California.
That was locally sourced.
I mean, Tumbo. Yes, click if you can.
Thomas wasn't a bad.
Oh, dude,
Bro, that arc was great for medium
Yo.
marketing. Like he had such a good mouth on him.
That's what I'm saying. It was like this quick thing that happened in the
Roarke,
ESPN. Was
are you
fantastic.
ever gonna click on mixed martial arts?
Doesn't Wesley Hawkey always hint at having a comeback fight?
Yeah.
With Azzy Thomas
No, just in general, he like hints at it. Who did you want to fight the other day if the price was right?
at middleweight.
Saxon Delafield.
Yeah.
No. He
No, they
said
were
he,
just messing around.
Dave posted something.
Oh yeah, you want Dave at welterweight?
For sure, get the Burskies back in there as well.
Yeah, definitely. Problem is, once again, you're gonna struggle to match there. Dude, what did you select?
I thought this was fighting. It is fighting.
Click search.
So click search.
Click
Yes.
search. Oh, Cole Hennings also. His suspension's
back.
up. He's back.
Was that a new one? I really hope that's not a new one.
No, it's old.
No.
It's old.
He was
ADRV.
He was like the first guy.
Yes, ADRV sounds like they were taking some proper shit.
Gary Smith. We haven't seen him.
Dude,
Yeah.
that guy is... Whenever there's a metal and a couple of numbers, you are on some shit.
You know you're on something hectic when it's just got a number.
And you can't even pronounce it.
Well, I can see why he needs it.
Yeah, that oak's thicker than a
When did
snicker.
we see? I don't remember seeing
Yo,
this guy
dude.
fight.
Jeff Nowitzki.
Yeah, I remember he was on a Cape Town card. If I'm not
Jeff
mistaken.
Nowitzki would be all over my boy. Eh?
Yo, yeah. Stephen Wasu caught a knee from Gary. I think that was the event I saw him at in Cape Town. Could go back to Sades.
When is Michiel up?
Oh, dude, that oak's a horse chiropractor. He's a horse chiropractor.
Guys, he's
Roarke.
up this year.
Yeah, but he's also not in the EFC anymore.
Oh,
The guy's a horse chiropractor. How do you do chiropractics on a horse?
I think actually that's
Just
why he took.
click on Demart's sanction. What was the sanction
See,
date?
remember we tried to figure this out. I think it's May. Oh no.
Yeah, November.
Okay, so end of the year.
Yeah. December card, they can redo the Times Square. Nice.
Make it happen, EFC.
And they always went on the
Give us the
They always
trilogy.
went on the 11th event, I think it was, or something like that. First fought at 66. I know what, I've got that wrong. Never mind.
Wow, that gummy's working nasty, bro. You're in your
Bro,
mood.
please go back to where we were so we can check the bottom.
Say
Where are
it,
you?
China. What are you doing?
We've completely lost Roarke.
That's your Roarke.
Still Marcel.
Marcel's still in the last
Oh,
one.
Max Merton, boy. I feel like I want to get a picture of old Max Merton, and get that like on a plaque, like what he took, and put it up in the studio.
Oh, bro, that'll be epic. I
Hey?
think we should do that.
I think we should do that, dude.
Someone's a metal worker or carpenter.
Just a little plaque. Like,
Listen, bro. What the fuck has happened to that oak's kidneys?
didn't you just have a kid?
I think so.
The kid wouldn't pass. Jeff
Yeah, Jeff Nowitzki taking a little swab there.
What's his name? Max?
Smalias.
How
Let's have
crazy
one.
that they've introduced the mouth swab
Dude.
method. Do you know that, when we were at the training lab, that Sam Calavita was telling us about like hair follicle testing.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
the
the
extent it
DNA
can go.
testing, yeah.
Shit, bro. You know, like they've eventually through some of those tests, they're going to know exactly any medication you've taken your entire life. It'll leave some sort of footprint.
Someone needs to call a doctor because this man's been stung by a bee. A lot.
Dude.
Yeah, those UFD
Keep going down a bit.
Those UFD mats are like are mopped down after every training session with like
Yes,
Turinabol.
dude. I love these. I love the team photos. of the UFD dudes.
The UFD dudes, it's like their team photo is like the strongest jawline photo you've ever seen in your life.
They also could all individually win a bodybuilding contest.
Yeah. If you just open this up, you'd think this was a bodybuilder.
That is a
good.
joke.
Except for my boy on the right, eh? He's thick as fuck.
Yeah, but he looks Dagestani, so he
Yeah.
looks like he'll just fucking rape you anyway.
Jeez, how's the dude on the bottom right, bro? That has got 24 abs.
Isn't that... Oh, no, that's not.
Crazy, dude.
Yo. Is that... I thought that was Donald Cerrone.
Wow.
Donald Cerrone.
This like's having a
Anyways,
great
Roarke, before you
time.
embarrass yourself,
No,
let's
wait.
let's get out of here, boy.
Shame this dude on the left looks sad because he can see...
Yeah, he didn't
that
get the
everyone-
memo, eh?
But he's definitely quite thick.
He's
though.
like, oh, Tyrannobol. That's what they were saying.
He's thick though, huh?
Yeah, well, not as thick as.
There was an EFC photo in the stream there.
Oof, dude.
This is how this guy walks around. This guy...
The Oaks
this
in the
guy's
back
so
with the
jacked.
shirts on from UFD. They're from a visiting gym.
No, they're from UFD, but they're in bulking
Bulking face.
This Oak on the far right is taking so much stuff, he's glowing.
Yeah. He's glowing. His aura's changed color, bro.
Man.
Fucking hell.
Okay, just
UFD, we love you.
Roarke, you're so difficult tonight.
What do you want from me? I'm
I wanted
confused.
I wanted to see who the EFC photo was that they had on their photo stream.
You just wanted me off this page.
Scroll up, all the way to the top.
All the way up.
All the way up.
I must give Don a massive shout out. That Oak soundtracked our entire California stay, like the most epic soundtracks ever.
Well, if you've ever trained at FFM, when DJ Magic Man's on the
DJ Magic Man's on the decks.
on the decks,
There we go.
just
That's a
leave it-
UFC photo. Sorry.
all you have to do is leave your Spotify on next to the speaker, and you sort it for
Hang on,
playlist.
Roarke, go back, quickly. Down.
You mean your Shazam?
Go one, a little bit more. I think we've missed it again. Keep going a little bit more. One more time.
No surprise that Roberto
call it a
Soldich
day.
is part of that team.
That is dedication as
Oh.
a tattoo. Yo. Oh, never mind.
Cool. Anyways, lads, it's been real. Welcome home, homie.
Next week is
Sup,
jiu-jitsu.
boys?
Next week's jiu-jitsu. We're going to have a guest in.
Don't announce who the guest
There's no
is.
way his name rhymes with
Shmamy Shmamel.
Morden Ryan.
Yeah, he's making a special appearance. Yeah. Enjoy the fights.
No, wait,
UFC
you said making
247,
his-
John Jones versus Dominic Reyes.
Dominic Reyes.
Quick fire. If you can describe how badly John Jones is going to beat Dominic Reyes in one word, go.
I don't know if that's the case.
One word, go.
Yo, did you see his fight with
China, if he fights
dude
the
with the
fight
sword
that
in
he
his chest.
fought Thiago with, and he fights Reyes like that, fucking Reyes is gonna clean that Oak's clock, bro.
I don't.
But
Yeah, I
John
don't-
Jones is too good for that.
I think John Jones is.
John Jones is gonna
fucking
wrestle the
dismantle
Oak a
him.
little bit. And
John
maybe
Jones trains
submit
with
him.
Holly Hume.
Oh.
I mean, not Holly Hume.
I've got
Yes.
the thing like John's gonna
Home.
submit him.
Home. Holly Home.
I like it, like a leg lock, something crazy.
No, like I think he's gonna choke him like with something,
Out.
like a DOS
Like
or
out.
yeah. I think it's gonna be like one of those weird ones. You know, like John always gets the near call, and then fucking Kadushka's the next guy. You know? So like, oh yeah, Mark Hume's at ACA.
Molly whopped. Dogolovsky. No, that's not the
not the
more
new
recent
one,
fight.
yeah.
Yeah, he's fighting in Russia. He's
Did he
actually
fight that guy?
he's in Dagestan, training in Dagestan. What a gangster!
Oh, with Eagles MMA.
I don't know if he's with Eagles, but he's in Dagestan.
I heard it was Eagles MMA.
Good luck.
Bro, that's going to the fucking
the
the
belly of
heart
the
of the
beast,
fire,
man.
bro. Yo,
Join the rebellion, boy. Start a coup while you're there. Anyways, lads, cool. We'll check you out next week. Gonna be a good jiu-jitsu.
we're doing 15 milligrams next week.
Oh, may the force be with us. At least hopefully I'll be able to hold my shit better than Rock's done tonight. Cool, guys. Thanks for tuning. We'll chat to you later. Peace.
Cheers. Bye.